This is just a chat with Anne-Marie Whelan about the Blends child-centred approach and within the BELS early learning service. So I guess like my question's just around like how Blends promotes a child-centred approach for service delivery, and how that sort of works within the BELS service program.
I've lost it.
It's okay.
I'll ask the screen. Here we go. For the BELS themselves, for the BELS courses that they run, it's really family centred. So the idea is that for the immersion courses for children under 5, they can have 2 adults attend.
Okay.
Which is new. I used to only 1 adult.
Oh, yeah. But does that mean like 2 fully paid for?
2 fully paid for now, and a breastfeeding baby can come along. And the idea is that then that everyone gets the same information and everybody's on the same page. So it can be grandparents if both parents can come. It can be grandparents and a parent or whatever works for the family. So that way then that everyone gets the same information and everyone is working on the same goals and the same idea for the child. So in that way it's really supportive. For us, for when we visit families, we always put like family first. So we would never dictate when we're going to visit. Families would always have choice. We would always say when works for you, what times work for you. We would never just give them a time or a date that we're going to arrive because what works around the family, nap time, feeding time,
especially with with young children, I guess maybe with like multiple children in the home.
Yeah, and there's so much going on. So we always work around them to work whatever suits them. We also try to get a whole team approach on board. So we'd always try to have whoever else is working with the child, whether it's early intervention or deaf, blind, or VNTs or EITs. We try to get everyone around, so it's a wraparound service for the child. So and the family, so that everyone, so whatever goals the family want, everyone is following, everyone is doing the same. And the family don't have to retell their story a million times.
Everyone's in the room.
Everyone's in the room, or we'll do joint visits so that the family are not having one visit from everybody, and that it's too much for families. And so sometimes we'll figure out who's going to be the kind of key worker, who's going to be the lead. Even if a child has a vision impairment, it may not necessarily be us, because families might have other things that are more important to them. So we follow what they want. And we'll take a back seat and we might tag along for a joint visit, or we give our guidance to other professionals or others on the team, so that it's still included, but we might not actually deliver it, just depending on whatever the family wants. So it's really family led.
That makes a lot of sense. Because they'll be sharing their stories such a lot with other people.
It's a lot like. And then if staff move around as well, like different organisation things, so they feel they're not really heard, or they feel like that, they're just telling their story again and again, but their wishes or their goals aren't being listened to or met, or people don't value their opinion and don't forget that families are the first educators. We follow the family's lead, so we really try to reinforce that. And whatever family says goes.
That's the real Whanau centred practice approach, isn't it? I think that does get lost a little bit, like as they come into their school years and then intermediate and college. And that's when everyone just seems to come in with their own opinions on what should happen, and the family, like, they're not as involved, I guess, and that's the privilege of like the early childhood settings, because there's so much family involvement. And
like, you're never going to set a goal for a family that they can't achieve, or you're never going to set a goal that doesn't fit in with their routine. Like, everything has to fit in with what they already do. So anything we suggest is not going to be an extra. It's just going to should something that they can practice or seamlessly fit into their lifestyle already. It shouldn't be something extra that they have to do.
And that's why you do like that. That like routines based interview is things like that, right?
I don't do it to the extent that they would like us to do it to, because I find it a little bit invasive. So I skirt around it, and I couldn't kind of find out the information over a series of visits, but I would never. They recommend you do it in one hit. I don't do that. I just feel like it's way
that's really intense, and you have to kind of read the room. And sometimes people wouldn't have the spoons to do that. It'd be quite invasive, I'd imagine.
I think it's really invasive. And some of the questions are not like, I don't need to know their financial background. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to know that. It's not going to affect my delivery.
No,
I'm not going to offer them something expensive to buy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not really relevant.
So you kind of just like pull the information, like pull the questions that you'd like from it, and then just discard ones like that financial information that's not relevant, eh?
Yeah, exactly. And it's more about trying to just fit in with their routine, and offer suggestions around that.
Yeah,
and guidance around their routine. Yeah, and that's kind of what we. Yeah. So that's it.
That's really informative. Yeah, because I mean, I haven't really done much early childhood with blends at all. I mean, I don't think any. I've never had an early childhood student, so.
It's a lot more relaxed. The bells have worked actually really hard on their immersion courses.
Yeah.
It used to be more scripted, but now it's actually a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
So it's all about families connecting.
Yeah,
so it's that
important.
so that families make connections when they're there. They have discussions with the other families that are there. So it's not led really by the RTVs. It's actually led by the families. So it's open to change all the time. And when they're up there as well, if their children need a nap, then the children go have a nap. They don't actually have to be on all the time. They don't have to attend everything that's planned. They just
So they could pick and choose like relevant sessions for what they need, eh?
Yeah, they can. They generally do attend all of them, but if they ever want to go for a nap, it's no problem. If they ever want to duck out, it's no problem. It's pretty relaxed, and it's all about like the families. What they promote when they're up there is that the families interact with the children, not the RTVs, because it's time for the families to spend time together.
Yeah.
So we might set up activities, show them how it's done, but then we try and step out.
And then I guess they could bring that into this family homesteading.
That's it, so they can use it at home, and it's because if there's two parents there or two family members there, it just gives a wider more people to go back and share with the rest of the family. I suppose it's about empowering families, isn't it, and letting them explore and play with their children, because some of them don't know how to do that. So it's a nice opportunity for them in a supportive environment, and it's a chance for them to talk to other parents that are on a similar journey to them, so they get to build up those connections and networks as well.
Yeah, that's so important, especially for our families that are like based rurally, and they might not have another family in the city, like who has a child with vision loss or even nearby. I can imagine they build connections, and then they might stay in touch as well, and like that would grow over time through the immersion courses.
Yeah, and they try to do is they ask the families if they want to set up a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, but it's set up, but then there's no RTVs or no blend staff in it. It's just set up, and then parents can just do it themselves. If they want to, they're given the option if they want to or not, and it's left for the parents to kind of sort out.
Oh, that's great. If they're at the right stage of their journey where they're kind of willing to start sharing with others or connecting or.
And they try to have the same families back in the same group so that they can, have that connection time.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Because I guess the immersion courses, they run like for what, like 3 or 4 years until school age, sort of thing.
So they try, and it depends on the eye condition, or it depends on the needs of what immersions they'll have each year. But if they can, they try to bring them back and try to have children the same age, so that the families can connect over that and talk about going to school or whatever they need to talk about.
Oh, that's great. That's given me a lot of information about like whanau centered practice. Really appreciate it.
So I think anything else? I'm not sure that's everything.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
I think so. Yeah, I've just pressed stop now.